The next step in the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure anime is our fifth part, Vento Aureo. At the time we're at now, it feels like it's been an extremely long time for the next step in JoJo, or well, I'd say for those that only watch JoJo, because we're already on our 8th part as of now. But why does it feel like the interest in JoJo, and specifically part 5, has risen? Well, I'll be going over a reasonable amount of compiled information and give you the details on it. So I'm sure that any fan of the franchise is down for another animated part. Having an animated part does so much for the franchise, and it expands on the fandom. Now, if you're not a big fan of some of the parts of the fandom, that's something else on its own, but you have another installment that people are able to enjoy. Coming from a perspective of someone that's subjectively up to date, personally I missed a few chapters as of recent, but for the most part you get what I'm getting at, there's a gigantic part of the community that is caught up, and with waiting on Vento Aureo you have a lot of reasoning on why. The first one is obviously to enjoy the part animated. I'm sure that's a common one that will be shared. The second one is that I believe that a good amount of people know already about the shoddy original translations that we were made to work with early on. These translations had given people a messed up perspective on the part, which ended up on people having extremely mixed feelings on part 5. One thing that was insane was that we had ended up getting translations for all of Stone Ocean, Steel Ball Run, and a good amount of the beginning of JoJolion before Vento Aureo was retranslated. Now the black and white manga and the colored manga have been fully translated for a while now, but I'm not sure on how many people went back and tried their hand at the manga again. I went ahead and did so, and Vento Aureo had been confirmed my favorite part along with Steel Ball Run. This goes into the third reason, which I see along with others. Those that already enjoy that part want everyone to experience it for what it is. That's a feeling that's experienced for other earlier parts, but the other way around. I'd love to go about the major differences between the manga and anime, but that's a different place and a different time. But finalizing on the previous point, Vento Aureo has been this part that hasn't been given the credit for it that it deserves, along with the acknowledgement for what it does for the future parts. I have a few similar things to say about Stone Ocean, but again, this isn't the place for that. Going on into the next area, there's those that just want to go on into the next part. Now the obvious statement from those caught up would be to tell those that only watch the anime to read, but personally I don't believe it's an issue to lose sleep over. Sometimes people just want to watch the anime, though I will say certain parts aren't done with justice in comparison to their manga counterpart, those parts being 1 through 3. But now we're waiting for the next installment after the success of Diamond is Unbreakable, which is the best animated part as of now. Especially after the Blu-ray edition, since there were pretty large animation differences done for the better. That clears it up for this area at least. Just some fans waiting on the next part. Though I will say, if you are only watching it, please watch the sub. I understand that the dub is out and some people do like dub in certain cases, but please, this is definitely a great subbed anime. Now, going on into the final reason, and that will be one where it's from others that enjoy the part already. This could be possibly a hot take, debate me on it if you will. I'd love to make a follow-up video about it, just going through the comments. I believe that Vento Aureo is the second best part in the franchise when talking about parts 1 through 7, waiting on 8 to finish. I have a lot to say, but I'm going to approach this from a non-spoiler standpoint. The part has some of the best design stands in JoJo. The continuous onward direction and setting is amazing, which also can be said about Steel Ball Run. The shift in tone and era it was inspired off of had went along with the story so well. The part has the best minor villains out of any part. The art style is amazing, but it's Araki, so it's not surprising. And finishing it off, it has a great Joestar. I can do a full-on video on Giorno alone with how much I have to say about him and what unnecessary flack he gets, but for now I'll tell you that he's a top 4 Joestar. And that's a take I'll stand with. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure has all of these parts filled with unforgettable interactions, defining moments, iconic characters, high-pressured situations, extremely developed and human characters, and so much more to add on. I'm loving the upwards direction that the franchise is going in because of Diamond is Unbreakable, but I feel like we're going to see Vento Aureo being the part to capitalize on the ongoing popularity of the franchise. There's so much to think about and how the anime is going to be done that has people still extremely hyped on the part coming out, though it's been a reasonably long amount of time since we finished our last part. How will the art style shift from Diamond is Unbreakable? We see the differences between Star Wars Crusaders and DIU right now. How will the pacing be done throughout the episodes, because we wouldn't want it done like a few of the cases from the previous 3 animated parts. What will the opening sound like? Personally, I'm feeling a 90s-esque anime opening coming forward with a jazzy feeling, possibly somewhere like Cowboy Bebop. Will we get another game with Vento Aureo coming out? Will that be another ASB? Because, being honest with you, just tweak the game up a little bit and it's honestly amazing. There are a couple more questions on the part itself that could be going on into spoiler territory, and there's some questions that going about things connected to the part. For example, the clothing being made in collaboration with the part. And trust me, Araki drops a lot of fire clothing with the companies he's affiliated with. You'll see a lot on the official JoJo Twitter, but all of these questions will not be answered until the part comes out, so until then, we're waiting. If you're a fan of Vento Aureo, or any parts after, drop some comments on your thoughts of the anime in the future, or just standing it. I'm totally fine with it. If you're a Stone Ocean fan and you want to scream it out on the rooftops, go ahead, I want to see it. If you're a Steel Ball Run fan, that's honestly not a surprise. I'm pretty sure everyone is. It's one of the best manga of all time, but I'm hyped for Vento Aureo. But there's so much I want to see in Stone Ocean, Steel Ball Run, and JoJolion 2 animated. But we have a large amount of time before we get there, but it's nice to talk about these things with fellow fans. I hope you guys enjoyed me going over these compiled thoughts. If you did, leave a like and subscribe to stay updated. You can follow me on my Twitter and Twitch to see me procrastinate on future videos. Follow me on Instagram to see me stand Giorno and Kira possibly, and you can join my Discord to possibly meet people that share the same interests or just Forte fooling around. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, peace out and Godspeed.